What if your anxiety isn't a disorder? It's an overpowered engine no one ever taught you how to drive. For the last 33 years, I let the feelings I used to call anxiety decide how I lived my life and created music. Listening to those feelings resulted in me getting a lot done, like publishing 12 books on music, creating multiple YouTube channels, and creating a successful music coaching program for gamers. Now, in the past 6 months, I've composed music, created projects, and built my business with almost no anxious feelings compared to before. Here's how I did it. You want to know what no one tells you about anxiety? It's not weakness, it's potential. Anxiety is just energy your mind hasn't learned to aim yet. Think about nuclear power. You can direct it to power a city, or you can unleash it to burn a city to the ground. The difference is not the energy, it's the container and the channel. The feeling of anxiety I felt was not because I was broken. It was because I didn't have a channel, a direction. Heart racing, hands shaking, thoughts going a million miles an hour, not sleeping. That's not laziness. That's not an unwillingness to contend with your internal issues or brokenness. That's a sports car with no steering wheel. That's why I can get an insane amount of stuff done and have a nice time once I learned how to direct it. Now, right now for you, it might feel like I can't work, I can't focus, I'm stuck. You're not stuck because you don't have energy. You're stuck because you have too much energy with nowhere specific to go. It's like trying to hold a fire hose and someone turns it on and you're pointing at a wall and all of a sudden you just get knocked back. So here's the shift I made that started the change. I stopped calling it anxiety and I started calling it what it is, unused potential. So instead of saying, I'm anxious, I started saying, this is my potential showing up. Or, wow, I have this much energy available right now. Trying to sleep at night? Feel your potential in your body? You're not sleeping? What I found, as I said, I honor my potential, and now is the time to rest. Then I put all my mind's attention on feeling my breath, feeling my hands, and paying attention to my body. I gave that energy a direction, and direction was with my mind, and it was training my mind of what I was going to focus on and the meaning of what I was focusing on. So I could focus on the fact that it's right now, as I'm making this video, it's snowy and icy outside. It's not like that all year round where I live, but right now it is. Now I could focus on that and I could say, oh, it's a terrible day and I can't go outside because it's icy. Or I could just not think about it at all and focus on helping myself and maybe helping you by making this video. That's what I'm talking about training your brain about what to focus on. Now, something else I found tremendously helpful is give my brain a job. Breathe in for 5. Hold for 20. Out for 10. And keep doing that. Keep coming back into your body and giving your brain the job of focusing on what do your hands feel like. And if you've never done this before and it seems really strange, try this for a second. Close your eyes, hold out your right hand. Don't touch anything with your right hand. Don't move your right hand. Close your eyes and say to yourself, without moving my right hand, without touching anything, without moving any other part of my body, how do I know my right hand is there? And then you'll start to feel something in your right hand and give your brain that job. Instead of it focusing on a million things and all things, just give it the job of feeling your body or just feeling what it feels like when you breathe in and breathe out. Give your brain a job, and when you need to think and come up with solutions, it'll be there for you. Keep going back to your body, and you will actually start to control your focus. Now, here's step number 2. We want to give that potential a job, not fix my whole life, not figure out the next 10 years, not stop all the worst possible case scenarios happening that I'm imagining and playing movies of in my mind right now. One clear, smart job to get the engine going. Open your computer, compose for 5 minutes, send one message to a developer, learn one tiny music theory concept, then let the potential run. Once you get hooked in, then keep going. Then write the entire piece, then get the job, then message 100 people. Use the power that you've got built up inside of you to build the life that you want. You don't need less energy. You don't need more time off. You don't need more self-care. in my experience. You need a smaller container and a clearer channel of where you're putting your focus, and to train your mind on focusing on things that are inside of your control instead of things that are outside of your control. Train your mind to focus on the present moment. What do you feel in your body? That's the present moment, not the past, not the future. And focus on what you have, not what you're lacking. And if you train your brain to do those things, in my experience, you will no longer feel the feelings that some people call anxiety. Now, you build this focus power, this channel power, with practice. You've been practicing doing the not channel thing, or you've been practicing channeling your focus into focusing on things you can't control and playing mental movies of worst case scenarios, right? That's where you've been practicing putting your focus, and to practice putting it somewhere else is going to take a little bit of work. Another really important breakthrough for me was recognizing that what right now to you might feel like boredom is not actually boredom. That's actually normal. Boredom is the label that your brain gives to peace, because peace feels wrong at first. It feels really wrong. And you may find yourself on purpose bringing yourself back to anxiety by thinking crazy thoughts, playing mental movies of worst case scenarios, imagining things going wrong, just to get yourself anxious again, because that's what feels right. Training yourself out of that takes practice, and I'm here to tell you it is possible to change. At some point, I realized I wasn't cursed. I was just undisciplined with my energy and with where I was giving my mind a job to focus. I was allowing my mind to focus on all these things that were outside of my control. So instead of asking a question like, why am I like this? Or when will this end? Perhaps you might try what I did. What worked for me was saying, thank you so much. I have all this fuel, all this potential. My only job is learning how to drive it. How do I drive it? And that's the gratitude play. Not I'm scared, but I'm so grateful I have this much potential sitting inside of me. You're not broken. You're underpowered and underdirected. Learn to channel it. Learn to harness your focus and imagine the future you want instead of the future you fear. And this is critical. The solution for imagining a worst case future is not to imagine a best case future. The solution is to come into the present moment and not imagine a future at all. It takes you 30 seconds to imagine the future you want. Great, you did it. Now spend the rest of your day. You got 24 hours. Spend 30 seconds a day imagining the future you want. Spend the rest of the time being in the present moment. Why? If you go all in on a negative future and all in on a positive future, you're still over-indexed on future. The only way you get to the future is by taking action in the present moment now. So harness your focus for 30 seconds a day, not more, imagine the future you want, and then come back to the present moment and just be in the present moment, and then take the actions, the things that are under your control, which are the inputs to get you to that future. Not watching the news and thinking about what's going on, not paying attention to other people's lives. It's just, what can I do today to move me towards my goal? And figuring out what those things are, that's also a skill that you will get better at doing. And it's a skill at recognizing what you have control over and what you don't have control over. But I can tell you that there's a real quick trick to know exactly what you have control over. You only have control over 3 things. Truly. Number 1, how you use your body, right? You get to choose how fast you breathe or how fast you don't breathe. That's under your control. Number 2, what you focus on. You get to pick what you focus on. It might not feel like a choice, but it only doesn't feel like a choice because you haven't practiced using that choice muscle. Practice using it. Number 3 is giving the meaning to things that happen and the language you use to describe it. If I wake up every day and say, oh, it's another day to be above ground. Ugh. If I say, it's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to serve people in my life, to become a better version of myself. Like me just saying that, I feel such a shift inside my body. Learn to harness those three things, that's called your triad: your physiology, your body, your focus, where you direct your mind, and the meaning you give to things that happen. Create the future you want instead of focusing on the future you fear. You know, whenever you're driving a car, they always tell you, look where you want to go. And if you're always looking at the future you don't want to go to, guess what you're going to end up doing? You're going to drive straight into it. At least that's what my experience was, what I was doing to myself. And then that same focus tool, the focus on the things you can't control that used to paralyze you, then becomes the engine that makes you unstoppable and helps you live a beautiful life that you can truly enjoy and truly be present for. And a life where it's not about the stories of pain that you keep replaying in your head over and over again, but a life about beauty and growth. And yes, it's bittersweet, and there'll be challenges along the way, but it's a bigger life, and it's a life where it's outside of your head, and it's outside of the scary things you're scaring yourself with in your head. And I want to let you know too, I had psychiatrists and psychologists. I did 5 years of talk therapy. I had psychiatrists put me on 10 different drugs for anxiety. None of them fixed the problem. All those drugs did is they went to my nervous system and they told my nervous system to calm down. But it didn't work because I would re-trigger my nervous system by playing worst case scenarios in my brain over and over again. I was at one point diagnosed bipolar by a psychiatrist and given, a laundry list of medications to take, none of which I take now. And I do not experience those symptoms because those symptoms were not a chemical issue that needed to be fixed by taking a drug. The symptoms were a focus issue where I was making myself sick by focusing on things outside of my control. I was focusing on the future and on the past, and I was focusing on things that I was lacking instead of the things that I had. It's taken like a year and a half, 2 years of work to get to the point where I'm at now, but I can honestly tell you it's worth it. Start today. And it's not going to be a straight line of growth. It's not going to be a straight line. You'll have some days that are way better. And even when you go for 1 or 2 months and you're like, I'm cured, hooray, something's going to come up. You're going to feel those old patterns again, and then you're going to go crush them. But you're going to develop the tools and the skills along the way. And so for some more tools on actually changing those behaviors, for my top tips on stopping behaviors related to what's creating anxiety, so you can be easy to work with in professional situations. I already gave you one tool, which is just to feel your body. And I'll give you another tool, which is to breathe. Both of those will change your life. But full video on even more tools and behaviors to use, check it out right here.